By 1872, only a few Tule elk remained in the San Joaquin Valley. With the financial support of hunter tag fees, the Pittman-Robertson Act, that's an excise tax to the tune of over $15 billion on sporting arms and ammunition that sportsmen pay for, the Department of Fish and Wildlife, conservation organizations, like the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and hunters were able to restore elk to the landscape across California. Through the conservation of suitable, connected habitats and active management, including translocation, elk populations have rebounded and are now extending their range into previously occupied areas and beyond. Elk population growth since 1970 has been significant, and California now supports approximately 5,700 Roosevelt elk, 1,500 Rocky Mountain elk, and 5,700 Tule elk. This is a conservation success story. This film in particular documents the efforts that took place in February 2023 to continue the successful, continuing recovery of Tule elk, which can only be found in California.
We're in Los Banos, California, San Luis National Wildlife Refuge for elk capture translocation event. So this is a captive population. It's co-managed with the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. So we periodically remove animals from this enclosure to reduce pressure on the resources inside the pen. And then animals that are moved from this location, we're going to release them at Grizzly Island Wildlife Area up in Solano County to augment that population for genetics and demographically. These animals will join the free-ranging population up at Grizzly Island. So this population has been managed with the Federal Fish and Wildlife Service since the 1970s. It was established essentially to serve as a source population to start new populations, new free-ranging populations throughout the state, and then also to augment the existing free-ranging populations. So we periodically remove animals like we're doing these next couple days to help out our free-ranging populations and spread animals across the state.
All right, so the first step is the helicopter crew goes out into the pen where the elk are, and then they start herding the animals and selecting the individual that they want. A net gunner will shoot a net at it, trapping the animal. The pilot will land, drop off that net gunner. He gets the animal hobbled, blindfolded, and then in a bag for transport, and then the pilot will come back, pick them up, come back here, drop the animal down. And we have a transport crew that rushes out there, gets control of the animal, gets it onto a litter. We put the litter onto a trailer and bring it into base camp for processing.
Ready? Close the can. On three. Watch those feet. 2, 3.
So after the weigh station, the elk get transported to a processing team. And so we have 3 teams today. They get offloaded from the carry litter and unbagged, and then the first thing we do is go ahead and take vital signs. So heart rate, respiration rate, and temperature. And temperature is really an important measure, as well as the trend of the temperature, because it can tell us how stressed they are from capture. It gives us a little bit of a measure that tells us whether we need to respond to that in a certain way or not. Once we're done with the initial vitals, we'll continue taking those every 5 to 10 minutes as they're in camp. And then we start with the processing. So for these guys, they're getting some IV fluids and plus or minus some medications. They're getting ear tagged, they're getting blood drawn. The blood will go for disease analysis, so we can tell what kind of diseases they've been exposed to in the past. Then they'll get some measurements, so getting a sense of what the average measurements for neck size and morphometrics in general can tell us more about this herd in particular. Once all of that is done and we've addressed any injuries or concerns that we need to, especially on the veterinary side, they are transported again onto a carry litter and then moved back to the corral where we'll start to release.
Perfect. And then you're tagging them, so if you recapture them, would you recapture them later and do follow-up kind of, vitals and diagnostics or whatnot on them?
Not necessarily. So the ear tags are more for a visual identifier in the field, and we won't follow up with them by capture unless we absolutely need to. Or in certain scenarios, there are studies that might occur in other species or other situations. But it does give us a lot of information about if a hunter takes one that's tagged, we know what the history of that animal was, how long did it survive in its new location. We can use it to identify the animal in a new group. Like, did it move to a different group, or did it stay in the area that it was released?
Sure.
So all of those details. It also gives us some information if we do provide drugs, then it gives us some information on what the withdrawal time is for those drugs if these animals are ever hunted for meat.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll bring the animals in on the carry litter and we'll get them set down facing up the loading chute here. And we'll remove the animal from the carry litter. And then we have a crew with crowder boards to help guide the animal into the trailer. We'll unhobble, unblindfold, and then sort of let the animal get up on its own and gently guide it into the trailer so it can be taken to its new home.
Which is Grizzly Island.
Grizzly Island, yes.
And how many are we going to have done by today? This is day 2.
It's day 2, so we did 15 yesterday, 15 today, so we'll have 30 animals at Grizzly Island when it's all said and done.
Sounds like we have another one coming in.
Sounds like it.
Howl.
Sorry. You can edit that part out. Way to go this way.
So February of '74, we backed the truck right in here and let down the ramp and let out, 14 or 16 or so Tule Elk that came from San Diego Wild Animal Park.
Okay.
Prior to that, the group from San Diego came up to Tupman, and we loaded up a half a dozen or so, and they went down there. Spent a while in the San Diego Wild Animal Park, but the zoo people down there didn't feel it met with their theme. Even though they're native, they didn't meet with their theme, so we wanted to get rid of them. And at that time, this facility was built. So my cousin got a cattle truck, and Bill Clark and Brian Hunter and I went down and loaded them up and brought them in here.
So they were in a zoo?
Yeah, in a zoo, the Wild Animal Park in San Diego, which is a large open facility.
And this enclosure was here at the time?
Yeah.
It was here?
74.
Okay, and you brought them in, so that's when they first came here?
That's when they first came in.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. And what was your involvement in that? Why'd you load them in?
Serendipity, being at the right place at the right time. It just happened that there were some bad things happened in some of the early attempts at capture, and the task of developing a protocol for big game capture, Tule Elk specifically, was given to a friend of mine, Brian Hunter. And in an early meeting, the deputy director, Red Hunt, told Brian, he said, I wish we had funds to hire a veterinarian, but we just don't have the money, so you're going to have to wing it. And Brian said, he said, 13 words that changed my life. I know one will do it for nothing. And Brian called me and said, hey, good news, bad news. The bad news, you don't get paid for it, but the good news is I want you to help me develop protocol for big game capture. And that was 50 years ago.
Wow.
And it's just been a hell of a ride.
Are you a biologist? What's your
veterinarian?
You're a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just how it just happened.
That's just how it happened, you know. And I was a small animal veterinarian, and honestly, anybody who had the desire would have done the same job. And I don't have any particular talents, but just the ability to get along with a lot of people and don't make waves and be a keen observer. And yeah, it's just been a hell of a ride.
Wow. So you've been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
And what we're doing today has a lot to do with what you did back then.
When it started out, I was strictly a volunteer, didn't get paid at all. And finally, after about 3 or 4 years, they said, you know, we got to get you legally hired. So I had a contract, a big contract, $500 for the whole year.
Yeah.
I could draw it out $1 at a time if I wanted to. And that over probably 4 or 5 years, I think it then got a little bit better, but still, you know, I was paying way more for a veterinarian to cover me while I was gone than what I was getting paid for to do it. But, yeah, it's been a passion of mine ever since.
How many relocations have you been a part of since then?
I have no idea.
Is it every year?
For a while, it was every year. There were a lot of them to start with. It was multiple during the year. You know, in the 60s, there were somewhat under 500 Tule Elk in the world, 480 something, I think, like that. And so we had trying to find places to put them became a problem, and how to catch them efficiently. And when this was developed, I really don't think that they had in mind that it was going to be a nursery, but that's really what it's turned out to be. I mean, I'm sure there's somewhere there's records of how many have been taken out of here, but I bet it's close to 300 now.
Okay, and to repopulate other areas of the state.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. How many Tule Elk are there now in California?
Well, there's others who would know better than me.
Well, I know we don't know exactly how many.
Yeah, but there's, last I heard, there was something like 22 herds and 5,000 to 6,000.
Yeah. Wow.
But you know, if you put 100 elk in here, in about 3 or 4 years, you'll have 200.
Right.
And that's the problem. But it's also a blessing as well.
Right.
Because we get to do this.
Because you get to do this. Yeah. That's incredible. Huh. And your first name was Bud. And what was your last name?
My name is Alfred Adams.
Alfred Adams.
Yeah, but
awesome.
Bud, when I was born, there was 3 of us named Alfred, so they had to call me something different.
Bud Adams.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Well, my pleasure to meet you. I'm sure we'll be talking more.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep. I'm not a little guy.
Just kind of, it's getting up now. Okay. Swing.
Slider.
My name's Orlando Rocha. I'm the environmental scientist for Grizzly Island Wildlife Area, so the biologist. So we're on the wildlife area right now. This is called our Hill Slough, and we're heading to our main Grizzly Island unit, where we are going to release 30 elk that we are translocating from the San Luis National Wildlife Refuge. They have a captive enclosure, so 900-acre pen enclosure that is there for education, so the elk are in the pen for education, and every few years they need to be basically moved because they still breed and it's not a hunted population. So the management tool we use there to keep the population at a good size for the habitat available for those 900 acres is moving animals to areas that have capacity. Like Grizzly Island, the unit we're moving these out to is 8,600 acres, so our management plan allows us to bring animals in to a certain point. Our goal is to have 200 to 250 animals post-harvest because our population is a hunted population, so we use hunting as a tool to regulate the population size. So that's what we're doing today.
I'm Charles Selector, and I'm volunteering.
I'm Andrew Flores, and I'm with California Fish and Wildlife at Los Banos Wildlife Area.
Del Rio, and I'm with the Department of Fish and Wildlife, Los Banos.
Christopher DeTar, Human Wildlife Conflict Specialist for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
David Starzensky, Biological Science Technician, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Haley Jones, Human Wildlife Conflict Specialist for the California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Terrace Castine, Unit Biologist for Region 3 for California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Tom Young with Wildlife Services.
Alex Stetling, I'm a college student volunteering here.
David Sang, San Luis Fire Crew.
Teresa Franco, I'm the wildlife biologist intern from San Luis Refuge.
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm the veterinary resident through CDFW and UC Davis.
I'm Brandon Monk. I'm one of the senior wildlife veterinarians with the Wildlife Health Lab at California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Nathan Grablin with California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Hi, I'm Melanie. I'm with the Wildlife Health Lab. I'm Syed.
Sounds like he's doing a lot of the
Mark Abraham. I'm a unit biologist for Region 4 here in Tuolumne County.
Hi, my name's Sophia. I'm a Syed at Region 4.
Hi, I'm Allie, and I'm a Syed for Region 4 Coastal.
Hi, I'm Dylan, Biological Science Technician with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service here at the San Luis Complex.
Hi, I'm Fumika Takahashi. I'm a wildlife biologist for the San Luis Refuge Complex, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
I'm Tanner Statham. I'm with California Department of Fish and Wildlife. Our office is out of San Luis Obispo, but we come in to help out this elk survey and elk capture. It's a lot of fun. It's a great experience. It's a heck of a time to be out here.
Hi, my name is Wiley Archibald. I am a fourth-year vet student at the Ohio State University. I'm currently a veterinary extern with California Fish and Wildlife and UC Davis. I'm just here helping for these couple days.
Hi, Bob Stafford, California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Evan King, Department of Fish and Wildlife.
I'm Heather Perry. I'm the Wildlife Rehabilitation Program Coordinator. I'm with WHL CDFW.
Hi, my name is Luis Pond. I'm with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
I'm Leo. I work at the Department of Fish and Wildlife, Grizzly Island Wildlife Area.
I'm Dave McCullough. I'm a volunteer with the Central Valley chapter of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
Hi, I'm Jamie. I'm with the California Department of Fish and Wildlife out of the Fresno office with Wildlife Management.
I am Justin Montgomery. I'm with California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and I'm out of Grizzly Island and Napa-Sonoma Marsh.
Hi, I'm Joe Hobbs, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, Region 3. I'm at the Yolo Bypass Wildlife Area.
I'm Ashley Hex. I'm with Department of Fish and Wildlife, Los Manos Wildlife Area, and a Fish and Wildlife Habitat Assistant.
Jake Broward with Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
Mark Schneider with Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation.
DJ Samachetti, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation volunteer, state chair.
Edward Koppel, Los Manos Wildlife Area.
Nicholas Shirkey, Wildlife Health Lab, California Department of Fish and Wildlife.
Hi, my name is Andrew Wilson, and I'm here on behalf of Howl as the cinematographer for this project.
Hi, I'm Charles Whitwam. I am the president and founder of Howl for Wildlife. I want to thank Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, specifically Brandon Nelson, for inviting me out here for this wonderful project. And Andrew and I got to help film, and I'm really looking forward to the story that we develop.